Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Man, I just been all over dealing with this quarantine, and just trying to stay busy, through that. It's been great because I've had to, you know, um, figure out other ways to be productive and stay busy. I mean, the name of the game is just to stay busy, regardless of what's going on in the world. Or you can't control, things. You can't control this virus. You can't control a market crash. You can't control prices, inventory, interest rates. Those are all of your control. So you just gotta stay busy regardless of what the situations are, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just I've been working 8 hours a day here at the house, just getting it done. I've sold a lot less properties. Normally I sell about 30 properties every March, but this year, so far in March, I've only sold two as far as pending deals. So the business has been down, but I don't know how deep you guys have went into my content, but I'll tell you, I don't care if I wake up December 31st and I only have, I normally sell 100 properties a year since 2014. I don't care if I wake up and I've only sold 20 or 30 or 50 at the end of the year, because I know that I did all I could do to sell that. I'm more interested in my daily actions and what,
Hmm.
that I'm giving it everything I have on a daily basis, not necessarily results. I don't care about the two deals I did this year versus the 30 I normally do. Doesn't matter at all to me. I could care less about what the results actually yield. I just care that those were the highest results I could get because I put in the most action. You know what I mean? So that's what I've just been trying to focus on, is just trying to live by my philosophies that I've been preaching about for years to prepare for the moment that we're in.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we've been kind of doing fast and dirty here too. Scrambling plans that. What do they say? All plans go out the window. Or Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And so I feel a lot of us have been punched in the face in the last 2 weeks. And I think if
It depends on how
and
you look at it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. The last guest we had, we actually doing 2 episodes today, and it's really inspiring to hear you say what you're saying. And I think your personality type is like, I would say like a glorified personality. Like it's up there. People look up to you, and you have a personality that people really are magnetized to. And our last guest is more of like the analytics, like kind of number crunching person. But regardless of personality, it's really interesting to hear both you guys say it's about the process, it's about the actions, about the routines, and the results, if you put it all in, will show for themselves.
Right. And whatever those results are, that's the thing. People get too tied to the results, and they want to get down on themselves. If they, I've talked to a couple agents here lately, and they're like, oh, because I was looking at this result by the end of the year, but now Corona happened, and it's like you're focusing on the wrong thing. It doesn't matter what you want your results to be. You have no control of what those results are going to be. You have control over what you do every day. So I'm at the house making phone calls 8 hours a day, doing what I can do to stay busy and to stay in connection with people. I tell you, right now is one of those times where if you go back through your past clients and you go back through everybody you've ever talked to, and you make those calls and those connections, people are going to remember that forever, that you called them during this pandemic. And it's going to deepen that relationship so much that you call to check on them, see how they're doing, what you can do to help them. Do they think they might do something after this is all over with? Whatever the case may be, people are going to remember that. They're going to remember you as the agent that it didn't scare, like you were calm in a very uncertain situation. They're going to remember that. They're going to see you as a stable agent. They're going to want to do business with you. You're going to be drawn to you. So I think now is one of the best opportunities in the world to really, build your brand really to a point
Yep.
above everyone else. Yeah, right now, when this is all said and done, we're going to see who really wants to be a top producer. Because the top producers are going to emerge out of this because they stayed busy, they were calling, they were doing what they needed to do to continue to build their business. Right now is when you build your business and you catch up to your competition. This is when you close the gap on those guys that you thought you'd never beat. This is the moment right here where you can actually have an opportunity to do that. But back to what you were just saying, yeah, I made 100,000 cold calls in my career, and that laid the foundation for me to do what I'm doing. I continue to sell 100 properties every year, single agent. This will be year number 7, and I'm still able to do podcasts like this and do other things other than sell property because I did build that base and that personal brand through calling, and then I follow up with a weekly email forever. So I don't know, man. I see this as a huge opportunity. This is going to pass sooner than we think, and everything's going to be back to normal, fairly soon. And say fairly soon, like I think we'll all be back to work in the next like 2 to 4 weeks, and I think we won't be back to 100%, but it might take another 3 to 6 months to get back to 100%, 90%, 95%. So I'm pretty optimistic.
Everybody asks questions over the last couple of days along the lines of these couple of things. Well, how's your market? How are you staying busy? And what are you doing and saying to customers and leads?
Okay. My market is still moving. It's not dead. I normally get many properties under contract this time of year, but I've only got 2 so far. So what does that tell me? Well, it's a very optimistic thing for me. It tells me we're not completely dead. And the 2 that I sold were higher prices. So it wasn't like people were dumping their properties or was some kind of deal. So that's very positive. What am I doing to stay busy? I normally do 3 hours of calls, 3 days a week, 9 hours minimum. That's kind of my thing. I think that's something that everyone can do, regardless of how new or experienced or busy you are. That's something that's definitely achievable. And then, of course, if you have more time later, do more calls. But this is a minimum I'm talking about. But during this time, I've always talked about this for years, that when the market crashes, the market slows down, it opens you up to where I can actually go back and make calls, because I don't make as many calls as I used to. I don't have to. I'm too busy closing deals left and right. So now with what has happened, it's putting me in a position where I can make calls, because I'm not showing property. I'm not going to listing appointments. So I'm loving it. And I'm literally making calls 8 hours a day now. From the moment 8 o'clock, I've already done my stuff before 8 o'clock to kind of figure out everything on my computer and email and all that. I'm ready to get on the phone at 8. I stay on the phone all day, even through lunch. I'm working out of my house, of course, because we're quarantined and we're staying in. But, my wife makes dinner and I'm literally eating lunch, and I'm literally eating lunch while I'm on the phone, So I'm just staying on the phone, glued to the phone 8 hours a day. That's what I'm doing. As far as what I'm saying, I'm just checking on people, seeing how they're doing through this, seeing what I can do to help, see what, just keep that relationship going and just get into those conversations. Those conversations are really going to mean something to these people, because number one, you're showing them that you're not going anywhere. You're an agent. You're going to be an agent no matter what. You're here to stay. And that means a lot. It means a lot that you're calling to check on them, because you're portraying yourself as like a extended part of their family or friend or best friend. And that really means a lot, So I think that's what's most important right now, is just to stay busy, to keep your mind off everything. This is going to pass. Call all your contacts, let them know you're here, see how they're doing through this and what you can do to help. And, if you can throw a little bit of real estate stuff in there, hey, are you looking to do something when this is over with? You thinking about doing something later? Whatever. You can throw that in there if you want to, but you don't have to. These can be more, how are you doing kind of conversations. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be salesy. These people are not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You don't have to sell them a house today. They're definitely not thinking about buying or selling today. They're in their house scared to death. They don't want to get their 90-year-old grandmother sick. So be sensitive to the situation, be there for them. Let them know you're here to stay as an agent, and that's going to really mean something big, after all this is said and done.
Prior to the events that are occurring, what lead types did you primarily focus on?
Well, I built my business on geo leads. That's my entire business right there. And it isn't because I discount any of the other leads. It's just because my entire career, I didn't really know how to communicate who I was as an agent, right? That's what I'm on a mission to do, is to help agents understand how to communicate who they are, in terms of they're a good person, they mean well, they want the best for their clients, But a lot of the training out there doesn't really teach you that. It gives you a script that makes you sound like a car salesman, and it's horrible, and it makes agents run away. I mean, it makes prospects run away. And the agent's sitting here thinking, what did I do wrong? I did everything my coach told me. I did everything the script said to do. Why am I not getting deals? It's because those scripts aren't designed to figure out what you can do for the client. It's designed to see what the client can do for you. And the client knows that, and they're tired of it. And so I didn't understand that. And so if I would have known then what I know now, I would have really crushed expireds. I would have really crushed for sale by owners. For sale by owners, it's like everybody's trying to call to get a listing. Call them and see what they're going to buy, where they're moving to. Let's approach these for sale by owners as a possible buyer. Let's not even talk about listing their house. And through that process, they're going to get to know you, and they're going to list their house with you. At some point, they're going to get tired of trying to sell it on their own. Help them for free. Help them sell it on their own so that you can represent them buying the house. Give them great advice, really help them. If you help people, you're going to succeed. If you're just out to try to close deals, you're not. But to answer your question, it's geo leads, because I feel like that's the most efficient prospect out there. It's you pick the exact price point you want to sell in. You pick the exact property you want to sell, and that's prospect. It's not like a Zillow lead you pay $200 for and you don't even know where they are, what they are, if they are. You know what I mean? $200. I'd rather pay 2 cents for a geo lead that owns the exact property I want to sell, and knows a lot of other people that will buy and sell those kind of properties. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me when you ask that.
Thanks for that great answer. You brought up something I think the audience listening to this right now is like, what does he mean if he knew now what he would do then?
Mm-hmm.
And who did you discover yourself to be? I think if you're on a mission to teach agents how to be the person they actually are, what does that sound like? What does that coaching sound like? Because I feel like that might be the core central message that helps agents get on the phone right now and be authentic with themselves and their lead types.
Yeah, I think that most agents are scared to make calls because they feel like they're a salesperson trying to make a call and make a sale, and they're scared to be in those awkward situations. Whereas if you're calling with the mindset that you're there to help them and you don't care if they buy or sell, right? It's like if you called your mom, to see if she wanted to buy or sell her house, would you be trying to force her to buy or sell her house? Or would you be just asking her, what you can do to help? You know what I mean? It's your mom. You're just going to ask her what you can do to help. Like, a house around the corner sold. Is there anything I can do to help you? You know what I mean? As opposed to, hey, look, all the scripts out there, hey, have you considered selling your house lately? Hey, this is Ricky down here. Have you thought about selling your house lately? It's like, hey, Mr. Seller, hey, will you help me and sell your house so I can make a commission? Because I'm here for me. I want to make a commission. I'm trying to make some money out here, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't, then, well, screw you, man. Look, who do you know? You don't know me, but will you give me all your friends and family and all your contacts so I can try to make me some money here? That's what mainstream coaching is all about, right? Whereas what I'm trying to do is reverse that. Instead of trying to try to use the scripts to figure out what the client can do for the agent, why don't we try to figure out what the agent can do to help the client? You know what I mean? In terms of, hey, this is Ricky Carruth. How you doing? Cool. I'm enjoying the day. Isn't it gorgeous? Well, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but a house around the corner just sold. Didn't know if there's anything in the world I could do for you. Boom. I didn't ask them if they wanted to sell. I gave them market information. I respected their time. I didn't dive right into a sales call. I asked how they were doing, talked about the weather, and asked if I could help them. Right? And so when you mix all this together and you add in all the different personalities that are out there and all the different tweaks you can do to my scripts to provide a situation where you can literally be yourself and know that you don't care if they want to buy or sell. It's like a seller will answer and say, well, I'm not selling my house today, Ricky. And I'm like, well, good, because that's why I'm calling. I don't care what you don't want to do. I want to know what I can do to help you. Not what I can't do I want to know what I can do. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. So let's check that box off. You don't want to sell. Cool. Now let's move on over to what you do want to do so that I can help you do that. Because you're focusing on all the negative stuff here, man. You know what I mean? So, man, it's really deep because you look at scripts and you think, that's a script. You're just going to read a script. But when you really dive into the psychology behind what I'm doing, it's extremely deep. And it goes back 18 years of my career, trial and error, right? This is original stuff here. I'm like, what in the world can I do for you? They're like, nothing. I'm like, cool. Well, look, is there an agent you would work with if you were to do something? No? Well, cool. I'm sure at some point in the future, you're going to do something. Maybe even 5 or 10 years down the road, right? You're going to do something at some point, I'm sure. Yeah. Cool. Well, look, I would love the opportunity to work with you when that day comes. Would it just be okay if I stayed in touch with you? Great. What's a good email? Is this your cell number? Bam. Now I had this incredible conversation with them. I didn't try to sell them. I'm very polite, professional, dependable. Now I'm going to build a personal brand against that contact information for the rest of their life. And they're going to call me in 3 years after they referred me to people and buy and sell a piece of property.
That feels right. That really feels like, I'm sure Gary V's jab, left hook, and what's the ROI on your mom conversations kind of filter in somewhere along the way, right?
Yeah, probably somewhere in there.
So we got a question from Elaney who's asking about, is that the same script that you use with all lead types and all customers?
Yeah, it is. It's the same exact script. It's like, hey, this is Ricky Carruth. How you doing? I'm enjoying the day. Gorgeous. Cool. Look, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I saw your house expired off the market yesterday. Anything in the world I can do for you? Hey, this is Ricky Carruth. How you doing? I'm enjoying the day. Isn't it gorgeous? Look, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I see you got a house for sale by owner. Is there anything in the world I can do for you? Hey, this is Ricky Carruth. How you doing? Enjoying the day. Isn't it gorgeous? Look, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I saw you searching around property online. I didn't know if there's anything in the world I could do for you. It's universal, man. And the other part can be exchanged for anything. You could say, hey, I'm Ricky Carruth. How you doing? Cool. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it through this quarantine. How you guys doing? How was your Thanksgiving? How was your New Year's? Are you getting ready for Christmas? Cool. Well, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I saw that a house around the corner from you just sold, and I was just calling to see if there's anything in the world I could do for you. Is there anything in the world I could do for you?
It's not even a script. It's a mindset.
It is, man. It is. It should be second nature. What I want you to do is go back. And when you're talking to your mom, brother, cousin, best friend from high school, I want you to take that moment in time when you're talking to them. And I want you to take a mental snapshot of that moment in time when you're talking to your mom. And I want you to understand how relaxed you are, the tone of your voice, the speed of your voice, how comfortable she is with you, how comfortable you are with her, the entire thing, the whole 9 yards. I want you to take a mental snapshot of that moment in time, how you talk to family. And I want you to say, boom, that's what Ricky's talking about. And I want you to start trying to emulate that when you talk to your prospects, that exact same feeling. I want you to exude that exact same mood and feeling and relaxedness and breath and tone and speed of voice, everything. I want you to talk to your prospects the exact same way.
Sounds like the ROI on mom just went up. So you offer free coaching. That's I think what you're famous for in some way. And if you could take what you've just shared with us right now, and for the hundreds, if not thousands of people who are going to watch this video in the next couple of days, one of the big things, and you've already started with it, which is how you adapt what you previously were doing to what's actually happening, being aware of current conditions and changing that how's your quarantine part. If you had 100 agents in front of you right now on stage, visualizing that, and you had to walk them through what they ought to be doing from when they wake up to when they finish their day, modeling on what you're doing in your coaching, what does that conversation sound like?
Modeling my day to them?
Yep.
Oh man, look, nothing changes ever, right? I get up at 4:30. I was getting up at 4:30 before my daughter was born, 4.5 months ago. I get up at 4:30 after she's born. A pandemic comes out. I'm still getting up at 4:30. So 4:30, 4:30, 4:30, 4:30. I catch up on a little bit of sleep on the weekends, right? Not 4:30 on Saturday and Sunday. That's where if I need extra sleep, I can catch up. Boom, I'm ready to go Monday. It's all about recharging for me. Everything is about like, complete organization to the point of highest execution versus recharging everything, right? So 4:30 to 5:30 is I'm answering Instagram DMs, right? 5:30 to 7, I'm working out. 7 to 8, I'm eating breakfast and getting ready for work. Okay, from 8 o'clock to 8:30, I want to set that time aside to meditate about my business and study my business and organize my business priorities today, all the hot leads, all the stuff, any appointments. I want to know everything about my day now. And after that, in a normal situation, when I'm working at the office, I'm going to turn around and have a quick meeting with my assistant to make sure we're all on the same page with everything we need to get done to completely dominate the day. Then from there, the rest of the day, I'm just executing at the highest level, everything on that list. Now, 3 to 4 o'clock rolls around. I want to have a second little meeting with myself because here's the problem. Some people work all the way till 5 and then they get to 6 or 7 before they knock off. And when they go home, they feel like they forgot something. There's something they didn't do in their business and it bugs them. And they think about it all night. Even when they lay down, they're still thinking, what was that thing? What was that thing? And they're basically burning themselves out mentally. So they go to sleep thinking about it. They wake up, they feel very drained, right? And they go to work and then you have this burnout feeling mentally and physically. But if at 3 or 4 o'clock, you'll take that moment and have that mental, meeting with yourself and look at everything you did that day, your priority sheet, everything you did in the morning, and you find those 3 or 4 things that you have to get done today before 5 o'clock to make your day complete. You told somebody you were going to email them back. You told this person you were going to call them about this situation. You had to check in with this lender about this or that. Whatever it is, those few things, if you take a moment to really look at your business and point those things out that have to get done before 5 o'clock, whereas at 5 o'clock, you can go home and not worry about what did you forget. Now you go home and you can shut real estate completely off. And now you're mentally ready to escape in a movie or hang out with your family or whatever it is that you do and recharge. You get a good night's sleep because you're not worried about what you didn't do. And then you get up at 4:30 ready to go and you do it all over again. So that's basically the general idea behind my daily schedule. Whereas, the most important thing is, like I say, organizing for highest execution and then executing. Because I want to recharge. You know what I mean?
So obviously it sounds like discipline is a skill that can be learned, and probably you didn't wake up one day and all of a sudden have the level of cascading consistency that you do. But it sounds like it starts with that.
Well, you know what's unique about me, man? My dad was a roofer. I was roofing houses when I was 12 years old. We were up very early on a roof, laying shingles, laying metal. It kind of all started there for me. So I kind of grew up in this get up early, really work really hard mentality all day long. I never really had to work on that. It was kind of built in.
So I would try to speak right now for I don't know what percentage, but obviously you're in we'll just call it a 1% class of people, not really knowing the percentages. I'm making that one up. But for a lot of the agents out there, and we do our surveys and we do our polls, a lot of agents are solo agents who are new to the business looking just to make it, right? That's a big demographic. We know that that's probably the same people who follow you on your channels and a lot of the questions you get. And so I'm trying to help them right now see the value of the time they have as an opportunity to give themselves stability. And I feel like right now what you've just talked about is the way to create personal stability, emotional stability, energetic stability that allows you to recharge and execute at that highest level.
I'll tell you, man, one of the most important things is to drink as much water as you can every day. Hydration is dehydration is the cause for most people's mistakes and bad decisions. And after lunch, you don't realize how mentally fatigued you are. That's why I like to make calls between 9 and 12 every day in a normal scenario. Right now, I'm making calls like a wild man because I'm just at the house and I'm not showing property going to a listing appointment. So I'll say this, man, with the current situation, there's always more than you can do. You can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 rest of your life, and never scratch the surface for how much there is to do in terms of contacting people, reaching out, helping people. It's unlimited forever. Can't do it all ever. And so you just do as much as you can. And you have to come to a place in life where you're happy with what you did get accomplished, because a lot of people are unhappy because they didn't accomplish what they think they should have accomplished, when at the same time they accomplished way more than most. And you did all you could do. So at some point you have to be satisfied with what you do accomplish and where you are in life, as long as you know that you're still extremely hungry and pushing to get to the next level. Because most people are either really successful and unhappy because they're always trying to reach another bar and go to another goal, and they're never happy because they never hit it because they keep pushing the carrot out further and further. And some people are very unsuccessful and very happy, because they're satisfied in life and they don't really care about going to the next level, and they're satisfied and happy. And I think that you should live in the gray area there, right in the middle, where you're happy and satisfied, but still incredibly hungry. You're satisfied with where you are, but you still have that desire and that hunger to go to the next level. And when you balance that, you can really live a really enriched life, that most people never experience.
This is a question that's been coming up quite frequently around sphere of influence, and looking at today's environment as the master moment of sphere, right? If you want to build brand, sphere. It's an attention land grab to some degree. And so what are your thoughts on those comments around right now? This is all about sphere.
Oh man, it is like, this is the honey hole. This is the holy grail. This is the moment. This is where, like I said, man, from the beginning, right now, the touches that you give your sphere, your past clients, people you've talked to during this time it's multiplied times 100 of the normal times, because it's showing them that you're not going anywhere. It's showing them that you care about them enough to reach out during this time. Personal emails, phone calls, text messages, handwritten notes, all the above is just on another level right now. This is, like you say, an incredible land grab to really grow that personal brand to another level. And we're going to see it. We're going to see the agents that come out of this that are closing properties left and right. Those are the ones that were working 8 hours a day during this time. Those are the ones. And everybody's going to be saying, well, how did they get all that? Because they were working. They were putting all this together while you were worried about all this stuff and taking some time off and, doing all this other stuff other than working and building your business. We're going to know who those people are. It's not going to be hard to figure it out.
We have a tremendous number of customers who are feeling the pain right now. And I think you really did a great job of underlying the problem in the market, is that all they see themselves as salespeople. So therefore, all they see our products and tools as are lead generation sales tools. And so they only have one viewpoint into how to derive value from these products and services. And so I'd like to be able to speak to them right now with your help, to help them understand, is it possible to transform an expired into a sphere? Is it possible to turn a FSBO into a sphere? Let's go down the list and see what your thoughts are on, if you have those products and services, what could you say or do right now to help do what you've always done, but just adapt it to then fit into this attention land grab opportunity?
Well, every person that you have a great conversation with is now your sphere. Okay. So anyone you talk to, a for sale by owner, a geo lead, a for rent by owner, a pre-foreclosure, anyone you talk to, and you enter into these conversations and you have a great conversation with, they are now your sphere, period. Right. And so your job is, if you want to make $250,000 a year, right, that means that from zero, you have to build your database, AKA your sphere. Okay. So you build your sphere, you talk to more people, you make more calls, you build your sphere, you get referrals, they go in there, you get some, some leads from, social media and different places, they go in your sphere. You get all these people, all these leads, they're all entering into your sphere, your database. Your database, as long as you're bringing new people into your database, your income is going to increase every year. Okay. So the bigger your sphere is, the more income you're going to have. Okay. So when you get up to, I see a lot of agents, they come in, they work really hard, they build their database, and they get up to 100,000 a year. Then once they get up to 100,000 a year, they quit doing the things to build their database, and they just start focusing on their sphere. And what happens is their income plateaus at 100,000, and they just make 100,000 forever, and they don't know why. They don't know why they don't make more money. It's because they quit growing their database, their sphere. And so if you're constantly growing that sphere, that database, you're going to continue to grow exponentially in terms of your income every year. Now, the balance between taking care of your sphere, people you've already talked to, and touching those people versus the time you spend on new clients to try to get them into your sphere, you have to balance that as well to see exponential growth. So if you continue calling for sell by owners and for rent by owners and geo leads and all this, and you continue building those relationships and having those great conversations and getting that contact information, you keep building your brand with your sphere, and your sphere continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger, your income is going to go up. The moment that you stop, you could get up to 250, you get up to 500, you get up to what I've gotten up to, which is $1 million. See, I got up to $1 million 3 years ago, and then I quit growing my sphere, and I've made $1 million every year since. It goes to show you that as long as you're growing your sphere, your income is going to increase. The moment you stop growing that sphere and you just focus on your sphere, from there, your income will plateau or even go down. It's going to go down at times like this. So, no, to answer your question, this is a sphere growing machine for the lowest dollar period. This is the best thing that has ever happened. This is God's gift to the real estate industry. I used to spend all night long looking up 100 phone numbers, copying and pasting them into Bigfoot or Spokio or whatever, and then I'll spend all day dialing those 100 numbers with my finger. It would literally take me 15 hours to look up and dial 100 numbers, where now I can literally click a mouse a couple times and get 100 numbers in the matter of seconds, and then dial them in an hour and a half. I'm doing things 10 times faster than I was in my career. By the time REDX came along and became, had a dialer and all the stuff in place, I'd already built my business. So I never got a chance to really build my business with the system. Now I just kind of use it, as a multiplier. But my coaching students, like I have one in Mississippi, Quintavious Burdett, he called his first year, he did 200 dials a day on REDX, 200 calls a day, REDX geo leads. He sold 100 properties, closed 100 properties, made $500,000 in his very first year in real estate in Mississippi. Okay. And the way he did that is it took me 10 years to get to 100 deals, right? Well, what he did is he took everything I learned, and I'm telling you, you can do things 10 times faster. So he used the REDX system to multiply what I did and condense it down 10 times faster. He got to 100 deals in 1 year instead of 10 years.
It sounds like what we need to build next for you is a time machine so you can go back.
Yeah, that'd be good, bro. I'd get on YouTube early. I'd be the first one on Facebook. Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, we'll let you know. It's in the works. I've got really two major points to cover with the remaining time we have. And congratulations on all the success you're giving agents out there. That's fantastic, by the way. And from a tactical standpoint, we're getting a lot of calls right now from customers who are asking, help me. I have for sale by owners. I have expireds. I have, these different products. Help me know what to say right now. Give me a script that I can use to then help transform them into a sphere of influence customer. And so could you model for us those scenarios, adapting your script, so that way what we're going to do is we're going to transcribe what you say, turn those into sheets that we can then give our customer service agent, PDFs, to give to our customer service agents to help our customers.
Yeah, it's the same thing I've been saying. You call them up, You say, hey, is this Mr. Johnson? Hey, Mr. Johnson, it's Ricky Carruth down at whatever real estate. How are you doing today? Cool. Yeah, I'm just working from my house the past couple of weeks, trying to handle this quarantine. How you guys holding up? Cool. Well, look, I'm sorry. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but your house expired off the market, or your house, I see your house is for sale. Is your house still for sale by owner? I see your house expired off the market. Are you still interested in selling? Is there anything I can do to help you? That's it. See, I think it comes down to, man, if you really hear what I'm saying, it's not necessarily, there's a lot to what I'm saying, because I'm not using I'm not using the hardcore sales pitches. Okay. But more so than that, it's how I'm saying it. What I really want your audience to get is that whole, when you're talking to your best friend thing. And if you can emulate that feeling that you're talking to your best friend with them, and they get that feeling, then they're going to open up to you. You know what I mean? And that's what you're looking for. See, the number one job is to make people feel comfortable with you. Okay. If you can't accomplish that, or you're dead in the water. They're never going to do business with you if they don't feel comfortable with you. Our job is to close deals and get listings and get appointments and go to show buyers and sign contracts and negotiate and search for properties and all that stuff. But if you can't make someone feel comfortable with you, you're never going to get to any of that. So you have to work on your skill of knowing how to effectively communicate who you are, that you care about them from the very first second of the call. You know what I mean? So I really want them to more emulate the feeling they get when they're talking to their mom, dad, brother, cousin, best friend, and talk to them like a real person.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, man. They feel comfortable with you because you feel comfortable with them, and they feel that. If you are talking to them like a salesperson, or if you're nervous, or if you don't feel comfortable, they're going to sense that, and then they're in turn going to feel uncomfortable and want to get off the phone with you as quick as possible. You know what I mean?
I do.
So more so than what you say, these agents need to understand the philosophy behind how you say it. Way more important.
So what I'm going to do is take some of the earlier script modeling you did before, cut that into this part of the video, and we're going to create a little something for our team to send them, the scripts and this video, so they can come and watch this. I think that's going to be incredibly helpful, much more so than having nothing. And so my last question for you, and I think you did a fantastic job of exuding exuberance around the opportunity that's in front of us right now. That was fantastic. And so I want to play off of that by asking you, because we're hearing agents saying, I'm going to do nothing. They're shutting down. And so if you could speak to the risks right now of stopping, prospecting, and doing nothing.
Like rephrase the question exactly?
Sure. There are agents out there who are falling into the mindset of, well, there's a pandemic, there's a crisis, no one's going to pick up my phone. I'm going to wait for this to blow over. I'm just going to kind of sit this out. You're
a loser, bro. You're a straight loser. Seriously. You're lazy. You don't care about people. You're not trying to provide a better life for your family. You're selfish. You're negative. You're everything that no one wants in an agent.
And so that type of mindset, what's the risk in the sense of what do you lose by not taking action now? What's the missed opportunity in front of them sitting by and doing nothing? And who gains?
Well, I mean, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, do I want to succeed? And do I want the best for my family? That's what you have to do. You have to look at yourself and say, do I want a better life for my family? And if I do, then I'm going to contact as many people as I can every day. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic. This should be your life, regardless of what's going on. Pandemic, market's crashing, market, buyer's market, seller market, real estate crash, interest rate, supply, demand, inventory. None of that matters. There's nothing that you should be doing differently now than you normally do. Period. Right? There's nothing you should be doing nothing different. There's nothing different going on, right? In a normal market, what am I doing? I'm getting up at 4:30. I'm doing my DMs. I'm working out, and then I'm working all day. What am I doing now? I'm getting up at 4:30. I'm doing my DMs. I'm going to the gym, and I'm working all day, right? There's nothing different, right? Nothing different. If you have a hole, if there's a hole, if, normally I'm trying to do my 3x3, 3 hours of calls, Monday through Wednesday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 hours of calls. But you want to fill up any dead time with more calls. Stay busy. Stay busy. Stay doing stuff. Don't try to pre-qualify the market, Don't try to. Why are you? Who gives you the audacity? Are you God of? I mean, like you're trying to tell me what other people think and what they're doing and how they're going to react. I mean, who does that kind of stuff? Like who stereotypes the entire market and says, "Oh, no one's going to answer the phone. No one's going to want to talk. No one's going to want to buy or sell properties." Look at your MLS. Look in your MLS right now and pull up today and tell me how many closings are happening right now. There's closings happening today. Right now, there's closings closing out in your MLS. And you're sitting here saying, well, nobody's going to answer the phone, so I'm just going to set it out right now. It makes 0 sense. Zero.
That was a great answer.
It's kind of tough for me to relate to someone like that. You know what I mean?
I feel like kind of angered you actually a little bit.
Well, that's how you have to get. That's how you have to get with people like that to kind of snap them out of it. You know what I mean?
That's what you would say to those people if they were right in front of you. Yeah.
Yes.
One question's come in, kind of a factor on this. It's probably a good thing to address. A lot of agents, when times are good, people don't care about costs and money. And if you're watching the stock market, that's probably not the best thing to do. And some agents are now looking at what are the key critical things I should be spending my money on. And so if you had to advise your audience, your teams, your agents, if there are limited dollars, which in some cases there will be, and there are, what are the key things that agents must invest in and keep to keep this opportunity going?
Again, nothing changes, right? Before all this, do not buy leads. Do not buy Zillow leads. Do not buy Realtor.com leads. Do not pay for coaching. Do not pay for coaching. Do not pay for coaching, right? What I'm trying to do is eliminate those costs for agents in any market. Doesn't matter what market. If we're in a good market, bad market, don't pay for coaching. Don't pay for leads. They're both, in a sense, there's some value there somewhere, but how much is the value compared to the cost, right? Another thing, as far as investing, stock market's a great place to go right now. Lowest it's been since, 2016. But in terms of your business, it's always the same, man. If all I had was $50 a month to spend, it would be geo leads. That's the first dollar I'm going to spend. And I'm going to hand dial if I can't afford a dialer, right? And then I'm going to immediately get the dialer as soon as I can. Because that saves me, that 10X is I can make 100 calls an hour and a half, and then I still have 6.5 hours to do other things. Whereas if you're hand dialing, it's going to take you all day to dial 100 numbers. Guaranteed. I've done it. I know. So that's the first two things. Then I may go to, I'm definitely I want a weekly email in place. And if I'm totally broke, I can do that through my Yahoo, through my Gmail. I don't have to pay for those kind of things if I don't have the money. But I want a constant contact type software so that I can send that email out to thousands of people with one click at some point. That's very cheap, $50. That's all I need, bro. From there, if I want to do a website, I can get one of these really cheap websites, and kind of go from there if I want to. That's all I really need, man. My cell phone bill, geo, a dialer, add expireds and other features if I want to, constant contacts. That's all I pay for now. That's all I was paying for before the crash.
So you make $1 million a year on average GCI, and it's almost like the same, like you said, keep the main things the main things. It doesn't matter whether it's this market or that market. When you run the ROI, what's your total, we'll call it operating expenses, total budget that goes into taking all the things you just talked about? What does it add up to?
Just about nothing, man. Listen, I don't pay for leads. I don't have coaching, right? I don't do any of this stuff that's out there that's trying to get you for some money. It's just ridiculous. If you just stick with the basics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Voice to voice, okay? Top producers do three things really well. They talk to the most property owners, voice to voice, with the best intentions, and build a personal brand around it. What do you need? What tools do you need to do that? REDX and constant contacts. That's it. You're talking about $200 or $300 a month. That's all you need. Period. I do have an assistant, so I pay her. But as far as anything else goes, there's no more expenses. So I'll walk away with $1 million. I don't have a team. I don't have a buyer's agent. I show all my own properties, go to all my own closings, go to all my own listing appointments, go to all the inspections. I do all that. Why are you doing all that, Ricky? I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a real estate agent. That's my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you should hire all that out or get you another agent to do that. No, this is why I sell so much property, because people know I'm going to do it. That's why they come back to me time and time and time again, and they refer so many people to me, because they know I'm going to do it.
I think you just landed some points that people have been waiting to hear. I would like to wrap things up right now by first saying thanks for jumping on here, dealing with a little bit of chaos in the beginning. I think you brought it, you delivered it, you nailed it. I think this is going to help hundreds of thousands of agents over the next couple of weeks. Stay in business, stay positive, stay focused. We're going to continue doing this series. It's daily. And so until it makes sense to do something else, we're showing up every single day with consistency in the same way. I'd like to speak to your audience right now, actually, who's watching this as well. Give them a shout out. If you're on Ricky's list or you follow Ricky on Instagram or YouTube, I know he's doing a webinar. I think it's tomorrow, where he's going to be covering a lot more in depth on GeoLeads and how to use it. And so if you're on his list, get on his list, watch his stuff next year or so, because I think he's going to take a deep dive into the tactical approaches that he's using in GeoLeads. Anything to add to that?
Not really. You said it all. Just happy to be able to help. Just if one or two agents can take something I said and use it to go out there and dominate, then job well done by us.
Thank you, Ricky. And if the audience is on Facebook and watching this, like our page so you get the updates when we do our next live episode. If you're on YouTube, please hit subscribe. You get the little notifications when we go live over the next couple of days. Another great bunch of fantastic speakers are coming up. We've got Dirk Zeller, we've got Brian Casella, we've got Jason Morris. They've been around and have great ideas, and I'm pretty sure they're going to mirror a lot of what you're saying as well, but also have some differences. And then most importantly, if you're not on the email newsletter to get these updates, go to the redx.com/blog. Wait for the pop-up, because we're giving you updates when we do the live shows. And then once we create the action plans that we're pulling from each one of these, we're going to email you with them. And so, and one other thing, trying to say this is, after we make it, if you opt in this video sometime in the future, you'll also get it there as well. So anytime you're on the list, you're going to get that once we get done producing it. So I just want to say thanks to Ricky. Thank you for making time in your $1 million days. For the entire REDX team who's working remote, stepped it up to the hugest next level. We're here to support you. Phone support still here. Sales teams still able to field calls. Marketing teams working at a level that we're just so happy about. It's given us the opportunity to get focused, get lean, get mean, and put great things with people like Ricky. So thank you so much. See you on the next episode tomorrow at 1:30. I'm Justin Zimmerman. See you then.